GM of the Brooklyn Nets just said that he plans on re-signing his big three this offseason by the start of training camp. That scares me. Before I get into the content, if you guys could leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on post notifications. I am trying to hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year, and your subscription would be greatly appreciated. Let's get into the video. Sean Marks, the Brooklyn Nets GM, said that he will have his big three signed by the start of training camp, and that scares me. Now, it's no secret that the Brooklyn Nets should not have gone out of just round number 2 of the NBA playoffs, but I mean, James Harden was injured a majority of them, plus Kyrie Irving got hurt. So not to mention Kevin Durant with a team of players. You can't just carry that team by yourself, and this man looked dead. I'm surprised he performed in the Olympics as good as he did. Now, as we all know, Kevin Durant just recently re-signed for a 4-year, I believe it was $198 million, but I mean, I think we all expected that, and it does seem like everyone in Brooklyn does seem happy. Kyrie Irving looks like he might want to sign, James Harden looks like he might want to sign, and they do have the money for it. They can offer Kyrie Irving a 4-year deal. However, though, he could go to the super max of a 5-year, $235 million. And if I make a video on the Brooklyn Nets big three in about like months, and Kyrie Irving for some reason like declines his option, or if he doesn't extend at the end of this year, do not think he's leaving the team. He probably just wants the supermax deal. Now, as much as I am a toxic Phoenix Suns fan, I would like to honestly think that if the Brooklyn Nets were healthy as they should have been last year, that they would have easily won the championship. Now, it seems like everyone is saying that the Brooklyn Nets are the favorites to win the championship, which is something they said last year, and to be honest, yeah, they're going to win the championship this year. I can't even describe what it is, but why I feel like this team is so scary. It's like they did make some free agent moves, but they weren't that big. But I don't know. This team just seems a lot more scarier now. The signing of Patty Mills definitely did help them out and did kind of balance them. Drafting Dayon Sharp also would help. But other than that, I mean, they didn't make that big of free agency moves yet. Everyone's going to be healthy, so I guess that's why they're the favorite. Now, on just about every single power ranking list I can see for the NBA post free agency and even before free agency, it really does seem like the Brooklyn Nets are the favorites on every single one. The Lakers aren't even top 3, which I think is kind of crazy to me, but that's not the point of this video. If Kevin Durant plays even half of the way he did in playing in the Olympics, and if James Harden plays even like 25% of how he played when he's been in his prime, and if Kyrie Irving plays how Kyrie Irving plays, I think this team is unstoppable. I think the scary thing about this team is, number one, their chemistry. They have chemistry, because some big threes and their like whole team don't really have chemistry. Well, this team has a lot of that, and I can't emphasize this enough. This is the most balanced team I think I've seen in the NBA in a while. They have a lot of guards, not only that are good guards, but they can also shoot the ball when they need to. You got players like James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Bruce Bowen, who is one of the most underrated players in my personal opinion. They also do have Mike James, who is a free agent, but he's probably going to resign. Don't forget, they got some good forwards, obviously Kevin Durant, but they also got players like Jeff Green. Even Bruce Bowen's been known to play small forward. Listen, I know that Joe Harris had a terrible season, or not, it's not even season, more like playoffs. And we all made the Shanghai Shark jokes, but come on, he's one of the best shooters in the league. He had an off shooting, I guess, playoffs, but that's really about it. He's a good shooter. Now, keep in mind also that the Brooklyn Nets big three only played a total of 7 games together, and that's not really that good, especially when you're trying to create a quote-unquote super team. Other than injuries and them not being able to play with each other, I don't see anything getting in the way of the Brooklyn Nets easily winning the championship this year. They have everything. They got size, they can shoot, they got veterans, they have so many guys. I forgot to mention Blake Griffin back then. The potential this team has is insane, and it is unmatched. The Lakers do have a lot of good veterans, and they have improved their shooting, but other than that, their quote-unquote big three with Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis and LeBron James, I just don't see that team being able to compete. Now, this might age really bad, but yeah, I don't think the Lakers have enough to honestly beat the Nets. They have all the veterans and they have a lot of experience, but sometimes old isn't gold. Now, something very hard though for any GM, especially creating a big three, is having to contain all the egos like James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant, because James Harden, I don't know if it's James Harden or Chris Paul or it was Russell Westbrook, but it's just a situation where it's not always easy to play with James Harden. It seems like any team he goes to, he kind of does ruin them, and he does start a lot of shit, but I'm hoping that it's not the case, and I'm seriously hoping that Sean Marks and Steve Nash can make sure that they keep that team under control, because all 3 of those players are guaranteed going to the Hall of Fame. Those are some of the best players to ever play the game of basketball. And a problem I always thought that big threes or super teams would have is like, okay, what about scoring? Like, obviously Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden all can't average 30 points per game, right? Yet Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant did average 26 points per game, and James Harden averaged almost 25 points per game. So in reality, it is pretty balanced when it comes to scoring. Now, with all of them going to be playing together for the most part, as long as an injury does not happen to one of the players, it does seem like that the scoring may go down a little bit. You also do have to consider the new rule and how it's going to affect players like James Harden. I will be making a video about that sometime, but so it could be more like Kevin Durant averages 30, maybe Harden goes down to lower than in the low 20s, and Kyrie stays at 25. Keep in mind, I know I did say the new rule, but that's not what I'm taking into account when it comes to James Harden scoring. That is completely irrelevant, and I'm just going off the fact on who I think would score the more less amount of points, if that even makes any sense. Like I've been saying this whole video, and I guess everyone is thinking on their mind, there's really nothing stopping the Brooklyn Nets but obviously injuries. But injuries are a part of sports, and it's going to keep happening eventually. Just hopefully it's not to the degree like it did last season, because not even with the Nets, but a lot of teams got injured and their star players got injured, and I'm hoping that the NBA does switch something about the season. Maybe it starts in January, which I don't want to wait that long for basketball, but seriously, we can't have something like this happen again. This just got reported, but for some reason Sean Marks decided to say that he thinks that his team is 90% complete. What the fuck are you doing with the other 10%? I am seriously hoping for me and for the NBA that he's just talking about re-signing his big three, but who do you plan on signing? Please tell me you're not getting like Larry Marketing, Avery Bradley, or JJ Redick, or Paul Millsap on some veteran minimum type contract. Please don't do that. Please, Brooklyn Nets, come on. I don't know what Sean Marks meant by that, but hopefully it's really not too much, and the Brooklyn Nets will be just around the same team they were as last season. But if you guys did enjoy that video, make sure you guys do leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on the post notifications. Tell me what you guys think about the Brooklyn Nets being back together for half a decade guaranteed. Obviously, someone could get traded, but you know what I mean. That scares me. Anyways though, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day. Take care. Peace.